we're totally not gonna go have sex in the kitchen, if that's what you're thinking.
Oh, we're not?
No, we are. All right, you took off your bra.
Over the years, the sitcom How I Met Your Mother has managed to gather a large number of viewers, and it has remained a relevant sitcom that keeps fans glued to their screens. The course of the show has introduced fans to true friendship, laughter, and love. And, let's not forget nice pickup lines from Barney Stinson. Although the show has ended, there are some facts about it that you may not know. Today, we're going to look at facts about How I Met Your Mother you didn't know. You don't want to miss this. But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We are giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or a MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Firstly, one of the best things about the show is the suspense. From the first season to the 9th, all everyone really wanted to know was who the mother was. The writers kept us guessing through Ted's multiple girlfriends, hoping he'd end up with one of them, but all our guesses were wrong till the big reveal in the final season. But did you know that we may have had a lucky guess if the show was canceled? Did I hear you ask how? Well, here's how. The writers were prepared for the worst, like every other show. So they had to write the ending, just in case the show got canceled in the second season. The writers picked Victoria to be the mother. Among all the girls Ted dated, Victoria was certainly everyone's favorite, and it would have been just perfect for the show's ending if the show was canceled then. Fortunately, luck shined on the show when it continued. Now that you know that the writers planned for the finale in the second season, here's some other fact about the finale. The finale was filmed back in season 2, not only because the show may have been canceled, but also to keep Ted's kids young at the time the show eventually ends. David Henry and Lyndsy Fonseca, who play Ted's kids, and Josh Radnor were all sworn to secrecy to never reveal the ending to anyone. It's pretty interesting that the end wasn't just about revealing the mother, but also getting Ted to ask Aunt Robin out again. Up next is the scene where Marshall found out that his father had died. You must be wondering, what could be the hidden fact in that scene? Well, Marshall's, Jason Segel's, reaction was original and not him acting. The moment is undeniably one of the saddest moments in the show, and Jason Segel had no idea it was going to happen. It wasn't in his script. He was super excited to tell Lily that they have kids when she caught him off guard with the news of his father's death. His reaction at that moment was genuine. That's a pretty impressive way to get a reaction from someone. Next is, unlike other comedy sitcoms that are acted in front of a live audience so their audience laughter can be recorded, How I Met Your Mother was quite different. This was because the show moved between flashbacks and flash forwards, so it was impossible to get a live studio audience. Also, other shows usually film an episode in a day, so it was quite convenient to get the live audience recorded, but each episode in How I Met Your Mother took about 3 days to film. Juggling between the filming time and the flashbacks and different time sets, it was quite impossible to fix in a live audience, so what they did was use a single camera approach to film each episode and afterwards show it to a live audience so they could record their laughter. Up next, have you ever pictured anyone else playing Barney Stinson? Probably not. Well, here's who almost got cast for the role of Barney: Jim Parsons. You heard that right, our very own Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. An online fan came up with a theory and suggested that Sheldon Cooper is actually Barney Stinson, but from a different dimension. Parsons reacted to the theory and opened up in a talk show with James Corden that he had actually auditioned for the role of Barney at some point in time. He may not have got the role, but he sure hit the jackpot with his role as Sheldon Cooper in The Big Bang Theory. The next fact you may have never guessed is that everyone's favorite couple was not exactly the best of friends on set. Marshall and Lily, played by Jason Segel and Alyson Hannigan, had a couple of disagreements, mostly over Segel's smoking habits. Although there were a lot of scenes where the couple kissed, Alyson complained that it was difficult for her to shoot the kissing scenes, and she wanted to limit the scenes because she wasn't a fan of smoking, and Segel smokes a lot. Alyson put in the work to convince Segel to quit, and in fact, they made a bet where he had to pay $10 for every cigarette he had, but Segel couldn't hold up his end of the bet. Due to the stress, he had to continue smoking, much to Alyson's disapproval. Up next, did you know that the major cast members, Alyson Hannigan, Neil Patrick Harris, and Cobie Smulders, each had their husbands play guest roles on the show? Alexis Dennison, who is married to Hannigan, played the role of Sandy Rivers, the pervy anchor for Metro News 1, who was always one sentence away from a sexual harassment lawsuit and a bone in Robin's neck. David Bertka, who is Harris's husband, played the role of Scooter, Lily's obsessive boyfriend from high school who almost crashed her wedding. And Cobie's husband, Taran Kalam, acted as Gary Blauman, who accidentally stole Barney's curly fry. Next up is Neil Patrick Harris literally brought his A game to the auditions by playing a game of laser tag for the judges. During his audition, he did some crazy dives and rolls, and while performing his stunts, he slammed into the creator's desk, knocking down everything on the desk. His audition also gave the role of Barney Stinson a different path. Barney's character was initially described as Jack Black, John Belushi type, but as soon as Harris auditioned for the role, the creators had a change of plans. Neil Patrick Harris's role as Barney is undeniably one of the fans' favorites. Up next, I bet you didn't know that Alyson Hannigan and Cobie Smulders were both pregnant while they were filming season 4, but their characters were not supposed to be pregnant, so they hid the pregnancies all through the filming. And if you notice, for the most of season 4, the characters were sitting down. After Hannigan had her baby, she was given some time off, and the writers made it seem like she was pissed at Barney over the peanut butter and jam joke, so she wasn't hanging out with the gang. Also, Hannigan wanted her daughter to play her on-screen baby, but the producers said she was too old for the role, so Hannigan's baby was fired. Next is most of the main cast members got to keep some of their famous on-screen props at the end of the show. Josh Radnor, who played Ted Mosby, got to keep his coveted blue French horn, which he stole from the restaurant Carmichael's to please Robin. Cobie Smulders kept Robin Sparkle's bedazzled jean jacket, and Alyson Hannigan took the red British phone booth with her, and Harris took the infamous Barney's playbook and the tabletop from their booth at McLaren's. The cast were not the only ones to keep props for themselves. The producer, Carter Bays, decorated his personal home with the 2 swords that were hanging at Ted and Marshall's apartment, and Craig Thomas ended up taking a few set pieces from McLaren's, including one of the gang's red booths. Next, the cast tends to order Chinese takeout a lot, and have you ever noticed that Barney gets frustrated and tosses his chopsticks away most of the time? Well, Neil Patrick Harris does not know how to use chopsticks, and he always had the worst time trying to eat with chopsticks. Harris not being able to use chopsticks is quite contradictory to his role, as Barney is trained in the art of hibachi cooking, and he showed his skill to the gang in the season 7 episode, Ducky Tie. Up next, did you know that in 2008, the show narrowly escaped poor ratings and cancellation? Fortunately for the show, Britney Spears put them back on the map when she guest appeared as Abby, the receptionist, in season 3, episode 14. According to Carter Bays, Britney Spears saved the show from ever being in the renewal bubble again. Next is, from the first to the last season, the cast made sure to let us know that they were proud New Yorkers. Let me burst that bubble. The show was never filmed in New York City. Although the city is a central place in the show didn't take place in the Big Apple, but instead it was filmed in a studio in Los Angeles that was designed to look like New York City. Up next, do you remember the episode where Robin thought Ted was proposing to her? Well, that was a real proposal for Jana Rugan and Timothy Russo, who got engaged on the show. Russo's friend was a writer for the series, and he arranged for them to be extras since the show was Rugan's favorite. According to Russo, Jana Rugan thought he was messing up the scene when he walked up to Ted and Robin's table to pick up the glass. Then it dawned on her that he was actually proposing. She just couldn't hold back the tears. Such a beautiful story. Up next, most of the websites that were used on the show are real websites that you can actually access, like Barney's website, stinsonbreastreduction.com, the bank Marshall and Barney worked at, goliathbank.com, and puzzlesthebar.com. These websites were all mentioned throughout the series. Next is, Thomas and Bays decided to use 2 different actors for Ted, Josh Radnor and Bob Saget. Both played the role. While Radnor was the younger Ted, Saget voiced the older Ted, so viewers would understand that Ted went on a transformative journey and wasn't the same person he used to be.